I was waiting to have genital warts burned off, which I had given myself.
How did you give me?
Welcome to I Am Prime Minister, where well-known celebs unleash their outrage about life's annoyances and tell you how they'd sort it out.
I hate immersive theatre.
Yeah, oh no, I like
that?
it.
You like immersive theatre?
I've been to Punch Drunk and all those things. I really enjoy it.
Punch Drunk. I went to the Macbeth one.
Yeah,
but you just wander around in a mask like you're at an orgy. You don't have to. You don't have to. Not that I've been to an orgy, but I've seen them on television. Like 15 rated
Is
ones.
it sort of all the bad things of an orgy?
Yes.
Because you're not allowed to talk.
No.
You're not allowed to touch anyone.
This is good for me. I don't
It's
want
hot
to talk.
in there, yeah.
Yeah. No, we went to see Cabaret last week,
yeah.
the Kit Kat Club, because a friend of mine is in it. And I'd seen it before, and I think it's a fantastic production of one of the most significant pieces of our time. But the theatre before you arrive is transformed into the Kit Kat Club in 1930s Berlin, and there are people wandering around, and performances are happening around you. And I just feel like a pervert, like looking like a contortionist. I don't know where to put my eyes, you know? I just want to sit in a theatre seat. Oh, and by the way, one of my policies would be it'd be a massive infrastructure policy, because I would make seats in theatres comfortable. What about that? Well, nobody's thought of that before. The most comfortable seat in a theatre is less comfortable than the least comfortable seat in your home.
Yes.
Why should that be?
So I'm going to push back on this, Prime Minister, because I think...
by the way, I don't know if my people spoke to you. They may be saying that I like to be called Your Excellency. Okay. But you can just call me Geoff.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because this is the thing I'm going to do, and you will have seen this, Lorin, is I'm going to be very nice to people's... I'm very needy to be liked, so I'm going to be very nice to people's faces all the time. Yeah. But then if anybody looks me in the eye or doesn't call me Your Excellency, I'm going to yell at one of my spads. Yeah.
So you say, call me Geoff, but that is a test.
No, yeah, you'll call me Geoff, and then afterwards, like one of my people will come over and go, oh, please don't look him in the eye, and please don't call him Geoff, because I would have yelled at them. But I want to come across as... I want to like that open collar sofa government.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
but
of,
he'll
but
have
not
told
really.
you once and he won't tell you again.
Yeah. You get one chance.
Yeah.
Has that been a thing, as a side note, are there loads of prime ministers and politicians that do the whole call me Geoff thing, or is it very formal?
I think it depends on the prime minister. So like the call me Geoff, obviously you had David Cameron when he was trying to take a leaf out of Tony Blair's book and saying call me Dave, and despite his Etonian education, and he actually was one of the first leaders I can recall who did a whole YouTube series on the web Cameron, I think it was called, and I think it was Peter Hitchens or someone sort of pointed out he tried to sort of humanise himself by like washing dishes and doing normal people things that people from Eton probably don't do. And then Peter Hitchens pointed out, well, actually, when most people wash their dishes, they tend to roll up their bloody sleeves and not wear full collar shirts.
The problem with that is they came up with the name first.
Yes,
that's always the issue with those kind of ideas. The cinema and theatre seat thing, though, I am going to push back, because I think the worse a comedy venue is the more comfortable the chairs are.
Oh, comedy, you want them to be very uncomfortable.
So if you're doing a theatre gig, you don't want it to be too comfy, because when you do gigs and they're all in sofas, it's absolutely dreadful.
Yes, you want them to be cold and uncomfortable and be grateful for the distraction.
Oh, it's like whenever you get booked to go and do like a gig in a Soho house and they're all basically lounging around like Romans.
Yeah.
And you just think it's just the least funny thing in the world.
Yeah.
Whenever you're saying this, you go, oh, yeah. Nobody's sat there having to concentrate to ignore how awful their life is right now.
Nobody's ever laughed on a chaise longue.
Never.
Apart from in kind of an ironic way, whilst eating grapes, maybe. But they're not enjoying comedy on a chaise longue, I don't think.
No, it's an annoyance.
Yeah.
So, maybe there's going to have to be some sort of, the theatre comedians, the people that tour those venues, there'll be something we can put on the comfortable seats to make them worse for them.
Yeah, spikes.
Yeah, fine, cool. Okay, lovely. I'm glad we could sort that out.
Or like minor electric shock, just to sort of jolt them awake if they're dozing off.
Like decommissioned electric chairs you're suggesting?
Yeah, let's plump them up.
Covered up with, sort of padding, so they're comfortable. But if they're
they haven't got the thing for the head.
No. But if they're dozing off, then suddenly you get a little jolt.
Yeah. I'm not offended by a dozer, if I'm honest, in a gig. Like if someone falls asleep in a gig, it's fair enough. They're not disturbing me in any way.
They're not on their phone,
actually.
So.
Oh, I shouted out in my sleep in a gig once. This was back when I was drinking. I've not had to drink for many, many years, like decades. But one time I'd gone to see my friend do stand-up in a pub.
Yeah.
And I was so drunk that I passed out. And it was around the time that Lady Diana, Queen of Hearts, had departed this earth. And he had some bit. It was long enough that he was doing a bit about it. And in my sleep, I shouted out, "It wasn't me." And I feel mortified to this day. I still carried on drinking for several years after that, but it was a horrible
Denying
thing.
the murder of Princess Diana.
Yes.
It was rock bottom.
Yeah, and no one was accusing me. Do you remember the Diana condolence books?
No.
So they were everywhere.
Yeah.
So in every public institution there was a Diana condolence book. I'm sure they're all in landfill now. Sorry, like the British Library or whatever it is. But
4 volumes, 130,000 printed messages of condolences, apparently.
well, mine was one of them.
Wow.
And I'm not a royalist.
wasn't me.
I'd never shown any interest in Lady Diana, and but I found myself in a waiting room and I was bored. So I wrote something, and I can't remember what I wrote, but it was trite and heartfelt. I wasn't like sticking it to the royals by writing a sarcastic message. But it was in a waiting room of a sexually transmitted diseases clinic in Withington in Manchester, the hospital I was born in. And I was waiting to have genital warts burned off, which I had given myself. Because
How did you give me?
I had 13 verrucas on one foot at one point. I was constantly like touching and picking at them, and the verrucas spread from my feet to my hands to my penis. And NHS
The
waiting
immaculate
times.
genital warts.
Yeah. It was the end of the major years. I'm guessing this is the beginning of the Blair years, and it was quite a long wait. And there was one of those books there, and it's before the internet. So I thought I'll just write something nice in the condolence book for Diana.
Is there a distinct possibility that someone might have picked up your genital warts from signing the book of condolences in?
So I also need to get this straight. Maybe we need to talk about health in a second, because you've given yourself genital warts.
Yes.
And you've also got herpes from your mother-in-law.
Oh yeah, I did get herpes from my mother-in-law. So I've got a recurring herpes on my mouth.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law came lunging at me on my wedding day. I could see that she had a weeping cold sore, and she tried to kiss me on the lips. I said, "Lynn, please don't." And she says, "No, it's not infectious." And she gave me a kiss on the lips. No, you didn't snog me. There was, but anyway, on the aeroplane as we were heading for our honeymoon, I felt the tingle.
Oh no!
And I was unable, perhaps in a way that she was relieved about, to kiss my wife during our honeymoon. And if I'm getting stressed or if the seasons are changing, it's back. At least annually, this herpes.
And that's it, because look, and I hope it doesn't happen, but if you and your wife were to ever split, you would always have something of your mother-in-law with you.
Yeah, always something.
Yeah. Every time you get one, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I was married." Okay, well look, that's culture, media, and sport. I think sorted.
I Am Prime Minister, the only political podcast that has absolutely nothing to do with politics.